So I want an interpreter, but what's one like? Are they someone who speaks another language? I'm Dr. Jonathan Downey, and this is Inside Interpreting, and in this video I'm going to give you the lowdown on what you need to look for in an interpreter. Let's begin with what you shouldn't look for in an interpreter. A few weeks ago I was at a networking meeting and an older gentleman came up to me and said, can I get your advice? I said, sure. He said, I have a niece and she went abroad for 3 weeks and she's a bit of a drifter and doesn't really know what to do with herself. Could you give her a job interpreting? So I paused and I explained what I rely on the interpreters in my teams to do. I said, well, I work with people whose language is so solid and whose interpreting is so good that you can trust them when there's a multi-million-pound deal on the table. I work with interpreters who I can trust that if someone's life is at risk, they will deliver when it matters most. I work with the kind of interpreters who, if it's a scientific conference, will be so powerful and amazing in their interpreting that the clients will come up to them at lunchtime and ask how many degrees they've got in the subject. He looked at me and said, oh, I don't think she's ready for that. I said, perhaps she isn't. You see, one of the most basic requirements of a professional interpreter, especially in the business world and in the conference world, is that they're qualified. Interpreters don't just have language degrees. Qualified interpreters mostly have language degrees and a further postgraduate interpreting degree on top, or they may have an undergraduate degree with interpreting. They've spent at least 4 years, sometimes 5.5 or 6, working on their skills and being trained. And then after that, they're continually training and improving and learning. So the first thing that you should look for in an interpreter is their qualifications. Alongside that, if it's an interpreter that you're going to trust with a meeting that really matters, they really should be a member of a professional association. That reduces your risk that there's someone calling themselves an interpreter but who has no skills in it whatsoever. There are worldwide associations such as IEC, the International Association of Conference Interpreters, and national associations such as in the United Kingdom, the Institute of Translation and Interpreting, who have lists of people that they've examined and checked or made sure that they can do the job. So they need to be qualified, they need to have some level of membership of a professional association, and make sure you verify that if you can. And the third area that you need to be looking for is that they're experienced in the area that you're working in. It's not enough just to say that a qualified interpreter, I can drop them in a nuclear power plant. That probably won't work. Or they're a qualified interpreter and they've been doing lots of medical events. Surely they can do this sales meeting. No, probably not. I know many interpreters who I would absolutely trust to do brilliant medical conference interpreting, but I wouldn't take them near a sales meeting. And vice versa. I know some interpreters who are wonderful with motivational speakers. I wouldn't put them in an AGM. They wouldn't want to be in an AGM. Actually, a great way of finding interpreters is to start with an interpreter that you already know. Find an interpreter who's been putting out content that you've been enjoying, that's been helpful for your business, and ask their advice. I'm an interpreter and I do very little translation, but already this morning someone asked me, do you know a good medical translator? It just so happens, yes, I do. I know lots of very good medical translators depending on the language. If someone were to email me and say, do you know a good interpreter for German car events? Yes, I know. One of the best place to start when looking for interpreters is to talk to an interpreter that you already know. And often they can build your team for you. We'll be talking more about how to find great interpreters in a future episode. But for now, I'm Dr. Jonathan Downey and this is Inside Interpreting.